What's going on, everybody? It's Joe from the Acceptable Casualties here to take a look at the three-story city block ruined by Novus Design Studio. So this is going to be like kind of like the previous buildings that I looked at, except this is going to be the corner, like the end of the block, like end cap to your building setup right here. So this is the corner piece. They have this version, it's a three-story version. There's also a two-story version that you can get. I ended up not picking that one up because I didn't want Mama Bear to yell at me about the amount of money that I was spending on building this table. But I will be picking that up in the future. For those of you that are curious about seeing the other one as well, I am going to get that once I kind of get this giant pile of resin that I have in front of me painted and get all these buildings done. Then I'm going to move into phase 2, and that'll be part of that as well. So if some of you are curious about seeing the two-story version, that will be coming up in the near future. But let's just kind of focus right now on the three-story city block. So as you guys can see right here, it's three-story city block ruin. It's the corner piece, and it fits flush with the other buildings that I reviewed earlier. I think it was like a week or two ago by the time this one ends up coming out. So yeah, this one, you have 3 facing on here, 3 stories worth of windows. You got the steps going up. You got some nice sidewalk and rubble going around the side here, and it all sits flush with the other building sets. So you really can create like a long city block. So if you use this on your one corner and you line up the rest of the buildings going all the way down, you can go as far as the eye can see. It just depends on how much money you want to invest and how much detail you want to get out of your city fight table. So all those pieces, they'll all butt up next to each other, and they're all flush with each other, and you can really create that depth. Now, if you leave it like this and you purchase another one of these, you can turn it and mirror it, so you can kind of end cap the end of a city block and then continue to build 2 wide going all the way down there. So like I said, there's a lot of flexibility with the way Robert designed these buildings, as far as not just getting just a straight city block going all the way across or just individual buildings on a table. You can create these very deep apartments like complexes going through the middle of the city, or just get kind of straight runs of buildings that are gonna maybe shoot along the edge of your table. There's a lot of flexibility just within how these buildings are done. So this is the front side of it right here. The one side over here, you have a flat wall end cap. Like I said, it's brick, just like everything else they have for the city stuff, really well detailed. And then on this side, the back is obviously going to be left open for gaming purposes. So over here, just like the rest of their buildings, you can pull these floors out. It works really simply. The top floor kind of just sits on the middle floor. Instead of dropping it in or angling, I've found like messing with it more, it's easier just to kind of slide this one in, and it sits super easy on there. The floors, just like the other ones, wood plank kind of flooring, very well detailed as far as rubble goes. You know, you can kind of do anything with the wall you can do anything you want with the walls. Geez, that didn't come out. You can do anything you want with the walls. They're a flat finish over here, so you know, if you really wanted to go in there and do like a wallpaper look, or if you just want to kind of paint it a flat color, you have the flexibility to kind of do whatever you want. In here, just like the other buildings, you have the staircase that's going to be down there, rubble on the floor. You have the divider to kind of go through from each side of the building. So you know, it's kind of cool. It gives you the option, not the option, but it gives you the flexibility when you're playing your games. You know, just because a unit might come in on this side over here, you might have an enemy unit here, and then you might have one of your allied units right here, just across from each other, and you have this divider in the building. You know, so you got like, you know, you can build some cool like little tension moments inside your games, as far as working floor to floor. Like I said, going through doorways and doing everything that kind of goes with that. So there's, like I said, a lot of flexibility in here. Here's like a just for a scale kind of feel of what it looks like in here. That's a 15 mil model down there to kind of show you the size of the building. Also here, like in the front, like I said, you got the sidewalk, and it lines up really good with the street and everything else. Here's a half track to kind of give you guys an idea as what vehicles look like. So I said it's a really nice profile, sense of scale. The 3 stories make it feel like it's a pretty hefty building that you're going to have on the tabletop with the infantry and even the vehicles. Like I said, it looks really, really good. The footprint that you're going to be looking at, I got to put it over here because I got my little grid. This one is also going to be roughly a 5x5 footprint, just like the other buildings, and that's kind of what you're looking at right now. So you know, you line up like 3 or 4 of these, you can get yourself a pretty nice amount of tabletop kind of taken up once you factor in like a cobblestone road or some kind of roadway and some rubble and things like that. You can fill up a nice little section of table with this purchase. I think this one is also $32 when you go on the site and go to check it out. As far as cleanup and things like that go, a lot of the flashing that I noticed on this one, you're gonna just have to kind of clean out inside the windows in here. It's not very heavy flashing. This one is actually one of the cleaner ones that I've run across from them. So, just going through with the hobby knife and just kind of, scrape it out a little bit. You'll be able to get through this in like 5 minutes. I mean, it's really not that much. There's not a lot of excess stuff in here, like I said, and it's really thin. Like here's a piece right here. I mean, if I want to, I can kind of just peel that off and bang it out with a brush. So, I mean, like it's really easy to clean up. And the stuff that you missed, like I said in some of the other videos, there's so much detail in here with the rubble and battle damage and things like that, where if you miss like a little spot here and there, it blends in so well with the rest of the model because of the amount of rubble detail that Robert's put into these. It makes it it's maybe more stressful when you first look at it. You're like, man, I want to make sure I make this thing look great. But even if you miss something, the amount of detail and time that he put in to put the battle damage and the rubble in here, even if you miss a little spot, it's still just, it fits. Like it still works. So, don't worry about that when you look at this. Don't be intimidated, I guess, by the amount of detail that's on here. Because even if you miss a little bit of the flashing, it's not going to ruin things. Trust me, it really isn't. So yeah, that's what we're looking at right now for the 3-story city block ruin. I've mentioned it before. I'll just keep beating the dead horse here for you guys who haven't seen the previous videos. For these, when you get them, just make sure you guys wash them with warm and hot water, toothbrush, washcloth, whatever you're going to use. Make sure you're pretty thorough with hitting all the pieces, and then after that, let it sit 24 hours because and let it dry out. Because if you guys don't do that and you just go straight to the primer like you're ready to paint, the mold release on here is not going to allow the primer to stick to the resin, and it's literally going to just slide off and pool down at the bottom, and then you just wasted a bunch of primer, and you might have pulled up some of the detail on the bottom of your kit. So make sure you wash it, make sure you let it dry, be thorough with it. You don't have to go to town on it as far as like, scrubbing the hell out of it, but just make sure that, you do a thorough cleaning on it, and then make sure you get that mold release off, because once you get that done, then you just jump right into painting and it'll be no issues at all. So like I said, this is a 3-story city block ruin. Really cool if you're going with, like I said, the city fight kind of theme, and you're going to be picking up some of the other city block ruins that they have as well. They're all modular, give you a lot of flexibility as far as what you want to get out on the tabletop with your terrain. So highly recommend checking this one out. Leave some comments below if you guys have gotten this one before and have some history as far as like painting it and putting it together, and you can share that with us and maybe make our lives a little bit easier as we dive into this project. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.